Some breaking news now from New Zealand. People have been lining up outside supermarkets.
Security guards are on alert, and a limit of 2 bottles per customer has been put in place
as the Lewis Road flavoured milk craze hit the South Island.
Now even showing up on a website called Trade Me for $30 a bottle.
Really?
This has even led the development of a black market in chocolate milk.
This is a bottle of Lewis Road Creamery milk. And this is a bottle of Lewis Road Creamery milk with Whittaker's chocolate melted into it. In 2014, this tiny container of liquid gold sent the people of New Zealand into a frenzy. This is how one small company accidentally created a product that people would do anything to get their hands on. Now, this bottle cost me $100 to have sent to Australia, so for no reason in particular, let's talk about Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon's tiny bagel-shaped beauties are like the sequel to cereal. Team, we're getting strong this year, right? And with 13 grams of protein per serving, Magic Spoon is like eating 10 slices of ham with milk. Except you don't have to eat 10 slices of ham with milk. I'm particularly fond of their fruity flavour, but they also have cocoa, frosted, peanut butter, and lasagna. Although you have to do a bit of that last one yourself. I love eating these strange little zeros, and I bet you will too. So click the link in the description or scan the QR code and use code KUDOS to get $5 off. Or go to magicspoon.com/kudos to save $5 today. Magic Spoon is so sure that you'll love this product that they have a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video. Lewis Road Creamery is a boutique Kiwi milk brand created by Peter Cullinan. New Zealand is famous for its dairy, with the frothy white liquid and its derivatives making up 3% of our GDP, which is a lot, apparently. But old Pete found himself charging down the milk aisle at his local supermarket, reaching for the superior Danish butter brand Lurpak. In that moment, he realised, why is a country known for its dairy not making quality dairy products? Soon after, Lewis Road Creamery was born. Specialising in premium butter and milk, the company slowly but surely churned up a cult following. Pete's bovine business was looking for the next big thing, as he was terrified of stagnating, because that would make cheese. Whittaker's is another iconic New Zealand brand that's been making mean-ass chocolate for over 100 years. Considering a majority of my audience is American, and you guys like chocolate that's made with stomach bile, the chocolate bar is pretty low. But I can safely say that Whittaker's is easily some of the best chocolate I've ever had. After Pete's advertising company helped Whittaker's with an ad campaign, he pitched the idea to them of having a small man chew up bars of Whittaker's chocolate and spit them into bottles of Lewis Road milk. In May of 2014, the Lewis Road Facebook page posted a proof of concept, testing the waters, or rather the milk, to gauge the public's reaction. Although this picture looks closer to Jenkem than a final product, it did produce a flurry of comments asking for this to be made reality. Oh, as well as a bunch of nerds asking them to not make sugary junk. A few months later, in September, their page shared a post teasing the final product. Cannot wait to have this against my lips. My favorite drink made with my favorite chocolate. OMG, don't mess with us. Both fantastic products. A marriage made in foodie heaven. Metacritic scores began to fly in, and the excitement amongst the lactose-tolerant public began to build. On the 29th of September, it began to hit store shelves at boutique food store More Wilson's in Wellington. A day later, they were sold out. News of this glorious beverage began to spread, and their Facebook page became inundated with people who were like pedophiles but for milk, desperate to know when the drink would reach shelves near them. Tragedy struck the second delivery of chocolate milk to More Wilson's, as the truck delivering it broke down en route. In a reply to a tweet about the delivery, Twitter user Crystal said she almost felt like setting up camp in your parking lot to wait for the delivery truck. Lol. Lewis Road replied, apparently some already are. It had begun. For a second time, in less than a day, New Zealand did not got milk. At this point, Lewis Road was producing about 1,000 litres of milk, which is only about 1,300 of their 750ml bottles, or around 3,300 of their 300ml bottles. The tiny 5-person company was blown away by the popularity of their brown milk. Their marketing budget was paper thin, with the hype being generated by word of mouth and social media. It seems quaint now, but back in 2014, brands were still trying to wrap their heads around this newfangled two-way advertising medium. Before brands like Wendy's discovered that you can convince people to have heart conditions by calling them slurs on Twitter, brands like Lewis Road were experimenting with the same core idea. Relatability. Staff would reply to Facebook and Twitter comments with genuine human responses that didn't sound like they were copy and pasted from some customer support guidebook. This helped prop up the idea that Lewis Road was some small, passionate grassroots startup, in stark contrast to the cold and corporate mainstream milk brands, even if this sometimes backfired. Unfortunately, no amount of cute Facebook posts could make cows squirt out their beautiful pale cow sauce any faster, and the team still struggled to meet demands. In an attempt to ease the pain of desperate customers, Lewis Road posted a link on their Facebook page to a daily list of stores that would be receiving deliveries. While they would later regret this, it at least took some of the pressure off them, even if that pressure was instead dumped on store managers, who now had to deal with a bunch of cream-craving Karens asking why the delivery isn't here yet. The public was getting desperate. Someone just took the last choc milk by Lewis Road Creamery out of my trolley while I had my back turned. Hashtag no lie. Hashtag this is ridic. Finally got our sticky fingers on some Lewis Road Creamery and Whittaker's chocolate milk after at least 10 empty-handed supermarket trips. Breakfast TV presenter Maddie McLean graced us with a proto soy jack, or Milk Jack in this case, I guess. Ground zero for the milk fiasco, More Wilsons, had posted on the 17th of October that people had begun queuing at 8 AM in preparation for the 8:15 delivery, which they then sold out of the trolley in less than 10 minutes. At the New World supermarket on Queen Street, people queued up for over an hour for their shot at some milk, only for someone to pull the fire alarm, requiring them all to evacuate. Purchase limits of 1 to 2 bottles were brought in place, with security guards supposedly being hired to enforce them. Lewis Road founder Peter Cullinane was quoted saying, "It's not fabulous to have a situation where you have to have security guards in place." Still, others dispute the authenticity of these claims. Jason Whittyheader, the operator of New World Supermarket in Freeman's Bay, claims they were a myth. It never happened. There were just staff members there making sure that people didn't take more than they should. Others believed that Lewis Road hired these milk minders as part of some 4D chess marketing scheme. Despite purchase limits and security guards defending the milk with AR-15s, it was still near impossible to get a bottle without camping out a delivery. People were getting even more desperate. And where there's desperate people, there's someone equally as desperate ready to make a buck off them. Someone snapped a picture of a store in downtown Auckland charging a blistering $30 for a 750ml bottle, 5 times the regular retail price. A Reddit user posted a picture to the New Zealand subreddit claiming to have bought a counterfeit bottle of this dumb bullshit. While this is a real Lewis Road bottle, it's one of their regular milk ones, not the chocolate ones. This unverified post implied that people were filling the easily obtainable milk bottles with chocolate milk in order to pass it off as the real thing. A spokeswoman for Lewis Road expressed their concern for the potential bootlegging operation. "We don't support people making and selling counterfeit versions of our product, as this could be a potential health risk to customers, seeing the opportunity to turn money into some more money. A few of the lucky people who got their hands on the milk began scalping it on Facebook Marketplace and auction website TradeMe, selling serious buyers only, $30 each. Pick up on Cuba Street, mint condition. One is brand new. The other one I opened and had a little sip, but promise I didn't backwash. PM me for other details." While Brittany was most likely taking the piss, I can assure you that Mike wasn't when he put up 3 750ml bottles for $60 and sold them. Plenty more joke listings, like this one with a $2,000 buy now, didn't detract from the many real ones that were selling from anywhere between $25 and $30 a bottle. I should note that all of these shenanigans were happening in the North Island, because Lewis Road was such a small company that they hadn't even made it to the south yet. This didn't stop 2 Christchurch dairies from smuggling some supplies over the Cook Strait. The creamery has warned it could pose a health and safety risk, as there was no guarantee the bottles were refrigerated while they were freighted down. It has asked both dairies to stop sourcing and selling the product. One of the dairy owners even managed to show more conviction than 6ix9ine when he refused to rat out who he got it from and how much it cost him. Folks who were desperate to try the milk by any means necessary turned to making their own.
Oh no, it's already in the sink.
This seemed easy enough, as the official ingredients were only milk, Whittaker's chocolate, and cocoa. Oh, but it's not the same, is it? People weren't just buying it to taste it. They were buying it to say they had tasted it. Now, unless you're from New Zealand, you're probably wondering what all the fuss was about. Before we look at the product itself, it's important to look at the culture surrounding it. 2014 was 17 years ago after all. Feeling old yet? Having clawed our way out of the global financial crisis, the average Joe had begun to spend again. Treats, luxury, and decadence were back on the menu. And nothing screams decadence quite like 400 calories in a $4 bottle of chocolate milk. Hipsters too played a role, as the culture of bespoke artisanal products being flaunted by fuckwits was starting to take hold, as GTA 5's poorly aged dialogue will remind you.
You are a hipster. What?
A growing culture of supporting your local instead of sending your money off to some no doubt Australian mega corporation was starting to take root. Whittaker's and now Lewis Road were both iconic Kiwi brands that New Zealanders had been enjoying for years. The quality of both was well established. You were supporting local businesses, and you felt like a fancy wee lad by buying boutique. Of course, the scarcity didn't hurt either. As we saw during that cold that went around recently, the mere mention that toilet paper could possibly maybe be sold out in the next few months or so is enough to send shoppers into a frenzy. Sugar milk is just as susceptible. And those of us who like a bit of nuts in their chocolate believe that this scarcity was artificially created. Something that Peter Cullinane denies. So the shortages, hand on heart, they were not designed. They were simply a result of GVD having a small bottling plant that simply wasn't geared up for the sudden demand which came in. So, how's the actual product? It came in a sharp, minimalist bottle that evoked nostalgia for a time when milk was delivered in glass bottles by men who fuck your wife while you're out working at the gelatine and racism factory. As for the milk,
Ian here, and today I'm going to talk about Lewis Road milk.
I know this has like been out 100 years now, so I'm going to do it anyway. I haven't had this before.
I am obsessed with chocolate milk.
So, today we're taste testing Lewis Road Creamery.
Yum. Tastes like chocolate too.
Wow, that is good. That is better than I expected. It's got that chocolate flavour.
So yeah, that tastes really nice. I wonder what the strawberry one will taste like when that comes out.
This is actually pretty good. I'd have to say from all the chocolate milks that I tried, this was the best one.
Wow. Super chocolatey and really thick.
It's not too chocolatey.
over time, Lewis Road ramped up their production, and as the hype died down, the supply was finally able to meet demand. A year after it hit North Island shelves, the now infamous milk made its way, officially, to the south. While they still sold like cold, wet hotcakes, the creamery had learnt from their explosive launch up north, and the process, much like their milk, was a lot smoother. So, what do I think about the chocolate milk? Yeah, it's alright. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and a huge thanks to my Patreons over on Patreons.